Contagion? By show of hands, those in the audience. Okay, that's okay. For those of you who haven't seen it, it was a movie in 2011 starring Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow, talking about the widespread effects of what a massive contagious disease could do to our country, world, and even the human psyche. I saw it, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit freaked out. And so I started having all of these deep questioning thoughts come to me in my head. What would I do if that happened? Would I be able to protect my family? Do I have enough food storage? I mean, the 50 cans that are under my bed in the pantry that I think is stocked for a good 3 months isn't gonna be enough. Now, before you think that I've gotten all crazy about a fictional event that didn't really exist, hear me out. Stuff spreads, sicknesses spread. We've seen it before, and we've even seen it in recent history. In 2009 with the outbreak of H1N1, and in 2003 with SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, that hit much of Asia and actually touched every single continent. So it wasn't hard for my human brain to go straight from watching something fictional to a work of complete panic in my head. Now, I, over the course of this, specifically since the SARS outbreak in 2003, have come up with what I call the contagious theory. And the contagious theory is this: stuff spreads. And yes, stuff is a very technical term. But as we talk about the sicknesses that spread, often the panic that goes along with those outbreaks spread as well. Even simple little things like H1N1, where though there were serious effects and people were actually passing away, the big widespread panic might have had more lasting damage than anything else. But because we know that other things spread, we also know that thoughts and feelings can spread as well. Sadness, joy, success, motivation, offense, racism. Thoughts and feelings can spread from generation to generation, from family to friend. And so it's not just about the sicknesses, but about the things in our head that we choose to spread to other people. So today we're going to be talking about the contagious theory. We're going to talk about our circles of influence first. Second, we'll be talking about our thoughts and feelings. And third, we're going to be talking about the positive ways that we see the contagious theory in action in our lives. So think about your personal circles of influence. Lots of us have many. Most of us have a major grouping of 4. First is our family. Second is our friends. Third is strangers. And fourth is our professional network or circles of influence. Specifically in our family, we seem to have the greatest effect there and the greatest lasting effect in the things that happen. For example, I know a family that is plagued by offense. Mom and dad, no matter what you do, they're offended if you try and they're offended if you don't. And then I've started to see, as their children are raised, being offended by things as well. These parents have passed along offense from one generation to another, and they've also passed along that negativity. They literally live in a bubble where they believe that everyone is out to offend them. Instead of teaching their children that everyone is out to do them good, or to seek the best in others, or to turn the other cheek, they are now surrounded by a cloud of negativity that follows them wherever they go. One of my dear friends, Jessie Funk, who's a singer and speaker, tells a story of how she was taking pictures of a dance group once. They were doing individual photos of these girls, and then she saw a particularly stunning young woman, and she turned the camera to show her and said, "Look how gorgeous you are." And that young woman said, "Oh, I look hideous today. I don't even look good." And Jessie was so sad because not only did that girl say it, but she truly believed it in her heart. As she was walking to her car at the end of the photo shoot, she saw a beautiful woman wearing a bright blue, royal blue shirt, and she again looked stunning, and she said to her, "That color looks so wonderful on you. You look fantastic." The woman said, "Oh, I hate this. It looks hideous. I didn't even have time to put myself together today." And Jessie could not believe her ears that she had heard the same thing in a matter of 30 minutes. She walked straight over to the young girl that she had previously complimented, and knew exactly what kind of conversations were happening in their home, and what that mother was spreading to her daughter about beauty. We talk about inner beauty, we talk about strength, but in our own homes, the things that we do and the things that we say are so powerful. Even my 2-year-old says, "Oh, sad," just like I do, in the same tone, the same inflection, when something is ripped, broken, or stained. "Oh, sad." And she says that. My 4-year-old says, "Mom, I have a good idea," in the same tone and inflection I do when I'm trying to get him to try something I know he's not really gonna like. But he's caught that on. My ideas, my tone is carried on in 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds, how young they catch. And our families and circle of influence need us to spread them all kinds of good. But we can also see how this works in our friends. I have some really great friends. We all have great friends. But a couple years ago, I had two friends who decided that they were going to go about and like start running or something. And one of them lost 50 pounds and one of them lost 40 pounds. And I was like, run for fun? What kind of fun is that? And then something happened to me as I started listening to them and watching them, and they were happy. And, you know, I'm a recovering sedentarian. I'm totally happy there. And I had believed my entire 30 years previous to that I didn't need exercise. It wasn't for me. I'm just not the athletic type. But then last year, because their contagious energy spread to me, I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. And I stand here, a recovering sedentarian who lost her own 40 pounds last year. That's how great, thank you. I'm pretty proud of it too. That's how great things spread. So we've kind of talked about thoughts and feelings and behaviors, but now I want to talk about another way, the professional aspect. For those of you who are entrepreneurs or professionals trying to get eyes on your product, let's see how the contagious theory works in your marketing. Probably something that you want more than anything else, for your message to just go spread like wildfire so that your people are buying your products and using your services and ultimately happy with what you do. Word of mouth marketing is still the most effective form of marketing because it does two things. It's free and it comes with a testimonial. Very powerful tools in your marketing. So as you think about your marketing efforts and trying to come up with the contagious theory as you're sitting at a computer or trying to create a video or doing a Facebook post, we can spread messages farther and wider than we ever had before with social media. We use Facebook, we use Twitter, we use LinkedIn, and all of those messages can spread. But what are you spreading? There are two kinds of things that spread when we talk about virality. Good things and bad things, and that's it, two categories. A lot of people try to use crazy bad things to get their message to spread instead of flooding the world with good, positive things that will help get their message out in a bigger way and in a positive way. Virality, if you're looking for it, I'm here to tell you the equation. There are three things that cause virality in your marketing. The first one is shock. I don't really recommend this one, though it's used a lot. I'm sure all of you have seen that in practice. The second one is when somebody sees what you have offered, whether it's a status update, a video, a post, and they say, yes. Deep in their core, they feel it. They know that it's true. They've probably heard it before. It came straight to the surface again. It resonated. All the pretty little quotes that you're seeing on Facebook and Pinterest certainly fall into this category. People are thriving and looking for something good. They love it, and then they share it. And the third, which is my favorite, which is where people look at something you've done, and they go, interesting. And it does come with a head tilt, by the way. Interesting, very interesting. Their status quo has been challenged. You have increased their level of education. You have made them think and feel in a different way they have never felt before. They like it, and they want others to know it too. That, my friends, is the secret to virality. Teach, give, help people learn, provide quality content. Let people see you, see your essence, see your product, see your service in a way that provides them value, and then the money will come in. The contagious theory works in a multitude of ways. And as we've sat here today, we've talked a lot about all the different ways that you can become a queen, an everyday hero, live big in your life. And that's the first step. But the second step is linking arms and bringing people with you. It's not just about what you do for yourself. It's about bringing everyone along. Our circles of influence are here because they're real. I've often found it interesting that God didn't send us to a world where we all lived in our own individual islands in solitary to learn. Instead, he sent us to heavily populated areas, some more populated than others for us, surrounded by people. And I don't think that's a mistake. We were here to be influenced and to influence, and we can do that for good or for bad. The way that we spread our messages, our light, our good, comes from what happens here and the choices we make every day. So all the messages that you've heard about not living life small, that's the first step. The second step is bringing others along with you. Bring them, let's all go together. And perhaps as we talk at the end of this conversation about how maybe we don't want to get caught up in things that are crazy and scary and panic-ridden. I know I certainly don't. I lived SARS for real. My father died of SARS in 2003. He was the first American to die. And in that instant, my world completely changed. But what I loved about that experience is that I get to remember all of the good about my father. He truly believed that the world could be better. The press called him lovably quixotic. Quixotic means unrealistic in ideals, or exceedingly idealistic. And what's wrong with that? He created a freedom bomb that he sent to the FBI, to the White House. I came home from college thinking my dad was going to be picked up like the Unabomber. But really what his idea was is to flood the world with good, take the areas that need education, give it to them. Give them the internet, give them television, give them books, let them read. And in the end, the best compliment that anyone can ever give you is to be lovably quixotic. And as you think about the crazy things, let's push those aside and ask ourselves one last deep thought question. What are you spreading?